Welcome back, my Duelist friends. Casual Duelist here, and I'm happy to be back. I'm going to be a little bit on light duty this week. I'm going to present to you guys a couple of deck lists, and then Celestial has offered to continue carrying the channel for the week. She's going to have multiple openings for you guys, so that should be pretty good. I should be back to full strength, full volume and everything in about another week or so. So, real quick, I wanted to start this off right. So, happy Monday. I did want to make Monday more of a grab bag of stuff. One of the things I wanted to do was Magic Monday. And in order to do that, I got to build you guys some Magic decks. I got to kind of explain the process of Magic just a little bit. And I thought I'd start with a deck in the form of the Pauper format. Now, Magic has dozens of formats. They're all really fun. But the best way for me to explain Pauper is this is what Yu-Gi-Oh! Borrows from, or steals, when we build out the Common Charity deck lists. So, in Common Charity, this Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is a common, this is Battle City Box 2, whatever, common reprint of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. This would be legal all day, every day. This is legal in every format in Yu-Gi-Oh! And I mean every format in Yu-Gi-Oh! But as far as the Common Charity goes, this is a legal copy, whereas this Chibi Secret Rare Blue Eyes White Dragon here is not, because it's obviously a rare. And that's the way that we base our game, right? So it has to be a common version or the card is effectively banned, and including if you have a non-common version of a card that does come common. Now, Magic does not have this qualm. It actually works the opposite way. Since the Blue Eyes was printed as a common, any copy of Blue Eyes would be allowed. And that's just what they do. And this allows for some really cool artwork. They had a set called Strixhaven, and they had these alternate arts and Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt is a very iconic spell in Magic the Gathering. For 1 mana, it does 3 damage to a target, which is pretty awesome. Really good stuff. And in Pauper, you'd want to obviously run a playset if it helps your strategy. It also goes into the colors that you can make. So, for you to be able to use the rare Strixhaven version means that you can sort of fashion up your deck and make it look the way you like. Which is, again, something that Magic has that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is kind of getting there when it comes to alt arts. But we are light years away from it, let's be honest. So what I'm going to give you guys today is, I would say mono green, but it's not, because we do play outside of green in this. It's a 60-card Pauper elf deck, because I love elves. So the first thing you need to do is just grab any 14 forest cards you have laying around. I think all of mine happen to be from that newer Tarkir set, the Dragonstorm, which is fine. Any 14 forests that you need. We're playing lean. For a couple of reasons. It goes into our sorceries. It benefits us there. We also use a lot of what they call mana dorking. Since mana is the resource of Magic the Gathering, we need to find monsters that can generate it, since we are running such a lean package. And so I'm going to go with the basic spells, like the sorceries, because I don't play instants, I don't play enchantments, and I run no artifacts. Instead, what I run is I run a little package, 10 spells. So again, this is 24 of the deck. So 36 cards in this deck are all going to be creatures that are going to help you, just progress. So the first thing we're going to run is we're going to run 2 copies of Distant Melody. Now, this is a great spell. Okay, cast on 4, choose a creature type. We're going to choose Elf every time because we're playing Tribal Kindred. Would draw a card for every permanent we control of the type. This basically says draw per character that we control. Which makes it great. It is one of only 3 cards, because there's 2 of them, one of only 3 cards in this whole build that require off-color mana in the main deck. Next up, we're going to use 4 copies of Lead the Stampede, and I think this one's fun because this one was originally printed as an uncommon, so initially this was not allowed in Pauper, but would be allowed later on in whatever set this is. Something. I'm not 100% sure. I bought them because they were the original artwork and they were common. So whatever IMA is. The effect here for 3 mana, look at the top 5 of your own deck. Reveal any number of creatures among them. You can place the revealed cards in your hand. The rest go to the bottom of your deck in an order of your choosing, which is fine. This will allow us to dig and get into more creatures. And again, creatures is what we do with this deck. And then last, that we're going to be running from Thunder Junction, we're going to be running the Winding Way spell. So this is a little harder to play normally than Lead the Stampede, which is why it casts on less. But we've modified our deck to have low land values so that, again, over 50% of our deck is going to be creature spells. That's just the way we're going to do this. So, 2 mana, choose creature or land. When you activate this, we're always going to call creature out. Reveal top 4 of library. Both players, all players will see this. Put all cards of the chosen type that were revealed this way into the hand, and the rest go to the graveyard. So, again, it's all about getting the creature spells into the hand, because that's where we kind of make our living here. And again, this deck can generate tons of mana, and it also goes high while going wide. So I usually say tall and wide. And it's fine. So, let's go over the creature base, right? First up, play set of the Birchlore Rangers. Now, these guys, very cool older effect, so it comes with, less, how do I want to say this? Less stipulations. It's a 1/1 on 1, and the ability is tap 2 untapped elves you control, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, so now you know how we're generating blue. This is fine. We're never going to do this for the morph cost, because that, again, defeats the purpose of what we're doing. But the fact is, this is an effect that you can use even though it'll have Summoning Sickness when you cast it, because it doesn't have the tap symbol on it. So it can even involve itself in the effect the first turn it's played. So again, really sick card. And again, it's from Onslaught. That was back when I started playing this game. So, cool stuff there. 3 copies, Elvish Mystic, and you guys are going to find that this is kind of irrelevant. I needed 5 mana dorks that were 1/1 for 1, and I just happen to have 3 The Lord of the Rings art, and I dig it, so I went with it. All this does is tap and create 1 mana that's green. Again, every turn we can tap that, we can do that. Super sick. The going tall portion of the deck is based around playing a playset of the Elvish Vanguard. Great card whenever another elf ETBs, put a 1/1 counter on this guy. And again, this does combo with another card we have. So it is important that it says ETB. And I'll show you that here in a second. Next up, a little bit of support to go with the Birchlore Ranger. We're going to be playing Jaspara Sentinels. Jaspara Sentinels are from, well, at least these ones are from Kaldheim. These are 1/2s on 1, which is, again, in and of itself kind of unique. The second effect here says tap. This is what I mean, the tap symbol. Tap an untapped creature you control to add 1 mana of any color. In essence, it's the same as Birchlore, but it's a different Birchlore. Then the one thing that happened, I did build this deck as sort of a challenge for my friend Phil and I, the Magic guy. And I did have him run it to a locals, which is why this deck actually has a sideboard. And he did well. And I didn't explain to him that this card had reach, because I didn't think it was going to come up very often. And then he told me, it ended up winning him a game because he was able to block early and reach up and grab things out of the air. So it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. And again, it's just another way to access other colors of mana. 2 Lissalana Huntmasters. Lissalana Huntmaster, great card, casts on 4, 3/3. This is the highest invest spell in the entire deck, I believe. Outside of, I think, Distant Melody. I think those are the top ranked, top cast. Whenever you cast an elf spell, you may create a 1/1 green elf warrior creature token. So this is the wide. So every time we cast an elf, this generates an elf. And if Vanguard happens to, or multiple Vanguards happen to be on board, what they're going to see is they're going to see the initial cast elf. They're going to trigger at the same time the Huntmaster triggers. So they're already going to get their 1 counter. And then as the token ETBs, that is a token, that is an elf entering the battlefield, it does not say cast. So again, the Lissalanas won't trigger each other, but they will trigger the Vanguards a second time or third time, depending on how many of these you have. Because again, That's just how this works. So you get to go wide while you go tall. And the best part is they can all generate mana through Birch Lore. So this allows you to continue and extend your plays, especially if you're going to try to do stuff with like the instant melody. You will be picking up 12 to 20 cards at a time if this deck plays right. And again, there's sometimes it did draw dead. It did draw dead. Holy crap, that is a tongue twister, and I didn't even mean it. I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to pause for a quick second. I'm going to get some water. All right, I am back. So yeah, unintended tongue twister aside, Lissalana Huntmaster, great card. Definitely pairs off well with the Vanguard. Since this was all in alphabetics, I got my 2 Land of War Elves. Again, I got the deck to, I think it was 59 cards. I was going to be playing 4 of the Elvish Mystic, but then I only had 3 of the art I wanted. I thought this art of the Land of War Elves went pretty nice, so I just went ahead and picked up 2 of this. It's fine. 1 for 1 tap to generate 1. Great, good card. Little tech offering in here. Could have raised this up to 2. This is also from Kaldheim, which was a great set for this, actually. This is going to be a 1/3 on 2. It's a shapeshifter with Changeling. The Changeling ability means this card is always treated as every creature type. Now, in Yu-Gi-Oh! Rules, this is the same thing as like Legendary Ocean, always counts as Umi. So, like, even in the deck, if you have something that searches for Umi, good, you can just do that. It's awesome. When this card ETBs, you may exile a creature from the graveyard, and if you do, exile target artifact or enchantment an opponent controls. It's a good, strong defender / disruptor of the opponent's board state. So again, good card. Another card I probably could have went to 4 on was my Nettle Sentinel. I only own 3 of these though. What happens here? This does not untap during your untap phase, but whenever you cast a green spell, it untaps. It's a 2/2 on 1. And what we find is that if you can get 1 or 2 of these with the Birch Lore Rangers, as long as we're casting all these little 1-drops that this deck does bank a lot of its time to play, the Nettle Sentinel creates a pseudo-infinite mana. Especially if we can, like I said, get more than 1 of them on the field at a time. So, again, I might drop the Little Land of War going into this. I probably won't, though, because this has just been working so far. So, mad scientists aside, like, I do like the way the deck has been running. So yeah, cool. I run 3 of those. The big mana dork of this deck, like the best one, is the Priest of Titania. And again, I do like these older cards. You can get this in a newer card with, I think it's actually the same art. What I love about this, I love this color saturation on these older cards, everything. They feel better. I don't know. I'm a nerd. I'm a Yu-Gi boomer. I might be a Magic boomer too. The effect: add tap, add mana to the mana pool per elf in play. This does not matter. If your opponent's playing elves too, you get more mana. So it doesn't matter that it's not on your side. It's still going to count them up, which is fine. It's actually really cool. 4 copies of Quirion Ranger. Again, it's another amazing, cool card from the past. Return a forest you control to the owner's hand, untap target creature. Use this ability once each turn. What's great about this? Again, like the Birch Lore Rangers, you will notice there is no tap symbol. This can be played, this effect, the same turn we activate or summon this card into play. So that's good, number 1. Number 2, it allows us to untap a creature while we bounce a land. Remember, we've only got 14 land. You're going to miss land drops from time to time. So what you can do with this is we can tap land, float the mana, bounce the land, untap somebody that we've already tapped, say Elvish Mystic, or best case scenario, Priest of Titania. So tap Priest of Titania, float a bunch more mana, replay that forest, tapping it again, floating a little bit more mana, and like we could do this per copy of Quirion Ranger. Again, you can still only play the land back once per turn, but if you're dealing with like going big and just like ramping everything up so that your vanguards that are already in play, have been in play, are super hard to deal with, this is good. Next up, we're almost done, I promise. We're going to play a playset of the Timberwatch Elves. Again, I love the art. I love everything about this. the effect. Tap, target creature gets +X until the end of the turn, where X is the number of elves in play. So we're dealing with that word again. In play, not you control, in play. And you will notice, like when it comes to certain cards, like this says that you control. So it is a little more powerful because of this. If we are playing an elf mirror match or what have you, there's more elves in play, we can get more power. This is usable for many things. One, we can use this to protect cards. So again, Priest of Titania, everybody understands it's a huge mana dork. People are going to be firing off things. And then earlier in this video, I mentioned Lightning Bolt. Lightning Bolt does 3 damage. Priest of Titania is like, what, a 1/1? Yes. So that would normally KO, right? Except we could tap the Timberwatch Elf and give it more power and toughness. And since power and toughness regenerate at the end of the turn anyway, and whenever all the values go back to normal, what we're going to see is we're going to see the Priest of Titania actually survive the Lightning Bolt or the source of damage. As long as it is a source of damage and not a different type of removal, say Destroy or Kill spell, or a Banish spell, an Exile spell, then we can get out of that motion with the Timberwatch Elf. This also means that we can do some battle tricking, and what we did was we went with a very Yu-Gi-Oh style theme. We went wide with all the tokens from the Lisa Lana, while the Vanguards look like they are the threat. If anybody is not familiar with Timberwatch Elf, what's going to happen is this. They are going to go, well, I'm going to block the Vanguards. They don't have Trample, which would be Piercing in Yu-Gi-Oh! And they're just going to go, that's fine. Like, just bring it. We'll block those. Chump block. Yeah, I'll let the 5/1/1s through. And you're like, okay, well, I'll tap. You let the 5/1/1s through. I attacked with 9 characters. This is going to give that a 10/10. So one of those is now an 11/11. You're going to be taking whatever it is, 15 damage. And 15 damage might be game. Like, it is a 20 life format. So keep that in mind. And then again, if you have multiple copies of this, if you have the Queer Ranger, we can untap it and retap it real quick by holding priority. Because in Magic, holding priority is a real thing. The Yu-Gi-Oh players will get why I'm upset with that, but like, whatever. And then my last card, kind of another tech option, was the Vine Shaper Prodigy. I play a single copy. I think he's cool. He's also the only non-foil, because when I was looking for this card, this was the only copy I could find was a foiled copy. And again, it kind of hurts me because I love Speed Duel, and I love Speed Duel because all my cards can look common without being foiled or anything, which is another reason why I really like Magic the Gathering, because you can get even your rares in a non-foil. Although it'll be foiled, as there'll be like a little marker symbol here in the bottom. I'm looking around on the table, see if I maybe have another spare Magic card to like show you guys. Like, here we go. Hollowed Respite. Even though this one's foil, you can see that this little symbol down here in the bottom is foil. And that's what's, besides having a golden set symbol, that's what the thing that's going to like denote it as being a rare in modern times. All this is normally is a 2/2 for 2. If we kick it for the blue and one other, it's a 2/2 for 4 that when it ETBs. Because it was kicked, you get to look at the top 3 of your library. You're the only one who gets to look at it. Put 1 in your hand, the rest at the bottom of the library. So what's good is like even your opponent doesn't get to like prepare for like what that card was. And that is like the main deck. So this is a pretty cool deck. And again, it's all elves because I love elves. And even though the one is a shapeshifter, we still get to count it. And my friend Phil, he did take this. I think he said he said he did pretty good. But it's been a few weeks. He actually had me on his channel. I went ahead and did this. I will leave a link to the Moxfield down below too. I do have a Moxfield account because I'm going to start building some of these decks, and I want you guys, if you don't want to watch the whole video, because again, it's painful to sometimes watch a 20-minute video on a deck. I will always leave the link to the Magic decks in the description down below, so that's fair. Sideboarding, I did put in 2 more copies of Mass Vandal because I thought that was a pretty good play. I started with some Apostle Blessings. 2 reasons here. One, this is sweet. I love New Phyrexia for this. We can either shock cast that white, or we can mana change into it. So it's either 2 life and 1 mana, or it is 2 mana, 1 being white. And target artifact or creature I control gets protection from artifacts or color of my choice till end of turn. So again, protection. Cool thing about protection. If my opponent's playing like mono red, let's just say, I can give myself protection from red, and they can't be blocked. And then I'm just gonna set up the Timber Watch, and we're just gonna go straight in. Or you can defend against something big and know that you're not gonna take the damage. This is another out for my Priest of Titania, just to make sure that like the kill spells aren't coming out. Sometimes you're gonna be playing against decks with Rakdos or whatever, or Black White Orzhov. And you're going to see that there's more banish, there's more kill spells, not just damage effects. So, again, good stuff. Since it was going to tournament, I went ahead and sleeved up some blue elemental blasts for him. Counter target red spell or destroy target red permanent. Again, very good. It's on 1. We can mana change into the color. Does not matter. It's super good. We're going to carry the white counter spell, Mana Tithe. We're going to go with 3 copies of this. Again, sideboards, I love 3. I think 3 in a 60-card deck is roughly the same as adding a 4th copy in. I know it's not, but hear me out. It's always worked for me. Mana Tithe is one of those, especially in the early game. Somebody goes to play the big thing. They generally will sack all their mana into it. And when they have, you just mana change for 1 white and go, no. Because they can't pay the 1 more. And so you can counter on 1. Next card, we played blue Elemental Blast. We got to get the red Elemental Blast. Again, same thing, counter or destroy target permanent of the opposite color. So again, this is red. We counter and destroy blue. And last but not least, I have another copy of Distant Melody, because sometimes you just need to draw in and just go into the strategy just that little bit faster. So this is it. This is my Pauper Elves. This is my most current Pauper Elves. If I do change it in the future, I might do another video, or I will just simply modify the file on the Mox field. So thank you guys for entertaining me with this. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you have, consider supporting the channel with a like, comment, sub. You guys can and don't have to go above and beyond. We do have to buy me a coffee. We use it to get sleeves all the time. I should really change it to buy me a pack of sleeves. Honestly, because that's what we end up using it for the most. Outside of that, just do me one thing, guys. Have a wonderful day. Go out, be the change that you want. All of that fun, good stuff. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Celestial rip this thing open tomorrow. Just because, like, I'm tired of looking at it on the desk. And I think this is the same amount of stuff that we got out of the tin, but this was cheaper. And this is, like, I don't have to deal with having a metal box laying around. So this is cool. So we'll have her open that. And then I'll be back Thursday. She's actually built you guys a deck for the Joey Pegasus format. So I get to not just present somebody else's deck, I get to present a deck built by my wonderful wife. So I'm excited. You guys might be excited. Hopefully we are. I will see you guys next time. Later.